How are you doing, my friends? Good afternoon. The Florida History Hunter, and we're hiking the trail on the east rim of Lake Beresford. And actually, this flooded area was the trail. As you can see, the lake's up really high. They're saying that the St. Johns River that feeds it is at record levels also. But right here is the inline with the original jetty that was located here. And we just got cut up in it. Somebody's blazed a new bypass here. There we go. You can see the bench was out of the water, and the trail went there up this hill right here. And, there's a bottle right there, and it looks like it's circa 1970s or 80s, back when they used to put styrofoam around bottles to help keep them cold. So we got a lot of rooting going on in this spot. This has all been turned up by the pigs. So plastic. This is a spot where there's thousands of years of human activity that's happened in this area. So we're going to get down here and I'm going to show you that there's a shell. I think you can see it. So there's a shell right there, and all of this shell, these little shells, I can't tell you how many shells are located in this part of Florida along the St. Johns River and all of its streams and ponds and all. But the entire St. John culture, Indians, part of their diet was inland snail, and coastal they ate a lot of oyster, and they threw the remains in the piles, mounds, which we call middens today. And so all the waterways that were high ground with good hunting were settled by the Indians of the St. John's culture. Now this is obviously from the beach, clamshell, and that could have been dumped recently. So the entire region, like I believe maybe possibly up into Georgia even, well, no, that wouldn't be true. Let me reiterate. Yeah. All right, how we doing, my friends? We're back. Florida History Hunter. Just had the battery go down to critical, and so stopped recording there for a minute. So we're on the east rim of Lake Beresford, and we're walking along looking for what the pigs have stirred up. Modern glass there. I need to be careful before I reach in. Stir things up a little bit. Last time I was down here, before the storm, came across a gigantic water moccasin. Yeah, I'm sure would have put a hurting on us. My buddy just happened to say, "Look, dude, quick." I would have stomped right down on that sucker. I was coming over the top of a log, fallen tree, and so climbing over that, which was a good 20 inches, and then the drop down was about 3.5 feet. I would have jumped right on that sucker, and the only thing it could have done was bite me, because it would have had no escape. I would have dropped down between the tree it was butted up against, and its escape route, which would have been the lake. It would have had no way to get to that spot, so I damn sure would have jumped up and got me. And even though I'm wearing good size boots, it wouldn't have helped a dang bit. That's almost for sure, because of the, I mean, that baby was like that big. It was ridiculous. He may have just eaten something too, and that's why it was big. But a little bit of noise we made, and it immediately made a escape dash to the to the lake. It's hard to tell if that's an old piece of glass or not. Maybe. It looks a little rippled. This gully's new. It must have been one heck of a rush of rain coming down through this spot. Alright, so we're going to parallel the east shoreline for a bit. Now this tree's fallen from the storm. Fell over and snapped. Interestingly enough, it fell that way, and then the top broke off and came the opposite direction. Usually when trees get that kind of damage, it's from tornado activity, where the winds are going all weird different directions. So we've been blessed with a fairly nice day. Sunny. Very mild breeze. Can't feel it when I'm in the woods, but every now and then I feel a cool spot, which is a blessing because look, I'm wearing sleeves. So it's kind of nice to, and it's actually not blazing hot today. All of these trails have changed. It looks like recently somebody's come through here, probably with a bush hog or something, and just kind of ground it clean. I thought originally the trail was more that way, like more on the lake itself. Wowzer, wowzer, holy mackerel Batman. Okay, so the small trees beyond that live oak is the trail. Ooh, daddy. That's some serious flooding, people. So the trail is closed. And okay, so this is what we have to do, and that trail's a good long one too. So we're gonna all right, my friends, we're back. I've been blabbing for who knows how long. We just had our first overheat of the day. We're also getting on 30% battery, so we're gonna pick it up a little bit. It's part of History Hunter, and we're walking around Lake Beresford. Oh, that's some funky looking pile of mushrooms. Rusty and stinky as they're dissolving. They're all full of ants and all kinds of craziness. So there's a lot of, get the camera down a little bit, all this dirt has been turned over by the wild pigs rooting. So I like to come out and it's like an archaeologist that's got free labor. They do the digging and I can come pick up whatever they dug up, because they're only in it for the grubs and the bugs. And I imagine they're going for tender roots too. I guess, you know, if you're rooting, you would want to root some roots. Okay, so this is where the trail takes a crash. Yep. So that's to find a way to bypass this crap. I've always wondered why there's markers. There's a marker there, a marker there, a marker there, one there. Look, there's another one. There's another one. Now where? Now they just disappeared. There aren't any markers. The host tree came down. Which don't appear to be something else going on here. Test of mystery. A whole line of flags and then they just disappear. Calls for a return trip, says me. Well, I can attest to one thing, people. If you don't have a sense of direction, you damn sure better have a compass with you. Or a smart device that you could locate where you're at, because it's really easy to get lost here. But as you can see, I got the sun sort of behind me, so I know I'm facing east right now. And then I could tell myself that it's got to be somewhere around 2 o'clock in the afternoon. It's going to be my guess. You know, 1:30. 1:20. That's close enough for a guesstimation. And I know I'm heading east by northeast. just by the knowing that the sun's off there. So if I stay on this path, and I could deviate a little bit side to side, but eventually I should come out to a cross path or a crossroad. Yeah, if my orthopedic doctors could see me now, I keep telling them that I really don't see the need for to go to therapy. You know, I'm not your typical sitting on his ass senior citizen. As a matter of fact, like anybody. And they just look at me like, yeah, blah, blah, blah. Just cross right out here. An exit. We're out. Jeez, I kicked my butt. Whew. Hi there. So this paved road here is the Spring to Spring bicycle trail from Beresford Park south. It's a straight cut through all the way to Blue Springs, and heading north, it's supposed to go to DeLand Springs, but it's a fragmented trail, so you have to share the road in some parts. It's an actual bike trail. And it is a bike trail, and so with that being said, I hike off to the side. You know, it's a respectful yield. And they got hiking trails here, but hiking trails aren't a priority for restoration after disasters. But they gotta get this bike trail open right away. To the north of us, there's equestrian trails. I haven't really spoken to too many people that have been up to horseback riding, but there's an awful lot of broken glass laying around from people dumping stuff back in the 1970s, 80s, and 90s. And in the early 2000s, they were still driving back here. And the county didn't do a very good job at cleaning up the glass. I would be concerned with going out there with a horse. You know, prefer like you run through some sugar sand and there's an old jagged bottle in there. And with that being said, there seems to be something about this part of the county, and you know, it kind of holds true for the whole state too. There's a lot of the more modern parks you know, in the last like 25 or 30 years, were all built on top of garbage dumps, which is a bunch of crapiola when you think about that. But that's how our tax dollars work. We buy a bunch of trash that they charged us to make the pile in the first place, and then we get hit on all angles. Now here's the other trail. Now this, I think, is the, I think this is Old Orange Camp Road, and then a little bit further south would be the Fascio extension. And back when they laid out this part of the land, the Fascio extension was a north-south, and then it made a hook east and west about a eighth of a mile from here. And back there was a home and barn and whatever else was necessary for the orange groves. And all of this region that we're in is all orange groves at one time, probably from the mid-late 1800s into the 1970s and 80s. There were still areas in DeLand and through Florida that were still orange groves. And now that the government has shifted all of our food supply and outsourced it all, orange groves fall and homes grow. Small pile of oyster shells, definitely coastal. But while they're here, just a random somebody dumped part of the garbage pile here in the last years, possibly. Okay, folks, now we're entering an oak hammock. So there's a bit of a ridge here. There's a little slope behind us, and it kind of levels off, and we're starting to see more live oaks. And if you listen carefully, you're going to start hearing a knocking, and that knocking is a pileated woodpecker. So we're going to be as quiet as we can. We've reached an impasse. I'm going to go on intuition here. I'm going to go cut right through here. Okay, so now we've come down a ridge, and we had this flat, and we're in our oak hammock, and we're going to come to another ridge. The other ridge starts here, and it starts tapering down towards the lake. And right here is where we step into another midden. And so right through this area, all up through this tree line, would have been a village. And the village, as I said, would have been known as a chiefdom. And so, you know, we could use my knees. We can go down here and see fragments of snail shell. And it's hard to conceive that there's quadrillion to like the quadrillionth power in numbers of these, and that each one of these, even the smallest ones, somebody had to suck that snail out of there. And look how microscopic some of these are. And some are like that big. And so, for thousands of years. Well, you can't say sucking and shucking, but you can if you're talking about the coastal tribes, because they were sucking and shucking oysters at the same rate that these peoples were sucking down snail shells. But of course, you don't have to eat as many oysters for dinner as you ate snail shell. And that wasn't exclusive dinner either, because they also had game, fish, fruits, vegetable, you know, so not like they had to eat just snail shell, but by gosh, they ate my popcorn. I guess to them it was like us having rice or French fries. It's like no matter what you order, and a side of fries. Starting to hear the mosquito squadrons again. It's like in full stereophonic sound. And this is way flooded out too. So, those trees were on dry land. This area wasn't even flooded. This is a spot where you had there was a ravine, and to climb back up. That's the spot where I almost stepped on that cottonmouth. Yeah. Speaking of which, just in case that sucker's hanging around here today. I've opted to go THC for pain control. Oop, getting a little too close to soft. I don't want to go too far back in here. There's still a lot of debris. There's the actual trail, and the trail was about 20 feet from the shoreline. It's not 20 feet from the shoreline anymore. Yeah, so all of this was dry land. Look how the shells are all wrapped up with the roots of the palm tree. I see something of interest right there, I think. Like this a second. Well, it didn't move. That's a sure sign. Need to drop the glove here and roll the sleeve up, but I ain't sure. But let's see what happens here. Pull my sleeve up, and reaching down, 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 and nothing but a piece of leaf. Nope, ain't what I thought it was. Okay, let's keep moving on here. And we're just looking for artifacts that have washed up. Is that something possible? Maybe. Right there. No, it's organic too. Oh, there we go. Right there. There's a piece of pottery right there. Little fragment. Tiny fragment. And chances are there's more here, but we're not digging. No digging. No diggy dogs. Turn myself around here. Look, I'm blocking the camera again. In case you're just joining us, I fought a history hunter, and we're trying to see if the... I'm doing it again. We're trying to see if the storm has turned up any artifacts. Ooh, serious rooting. Wow. The hog's been busy. And it's still pretty damp. I'm still walking on Milton. I'm So I'm still seeing seashell. Oh my bad, snail shell everywhere. And we can come over to this spot right here, which was dry before the hurricane, and you can see the spill of a midden right there. So we've been walking for quite a clip, and we're still walking on the mound. And that right there is an old pottery shard right there. Wow, that's interesting. It's just right there laying on the ground. Quite possibly there's more. So the water will have to retreat a little more from the flooding, and a couple of good rains to wash all the loose debris out of the way, and then come back over here again. And that's a piece right there, another little fragment. Super eroded. Like really eroded. Look, there's another one right there. Oh, you're looking at my knee, sorry. So there seems to be a debris field right here. Under this, right here. Right here. Right there. Where it's laying down from this wall. Look how thick it is with mud. Look at that. Alright, so anyway, I don't want to dig. So I'm just gonna break through this real fast. Time of the day makes a difference too. I'm trying to spot stuff. You know, obviously this is in the shade, so it's not making things easy. Alright, we're up. Gotta keep moving. But you can see we're still in the debris field. It's all midden. All midden. There's a whole wall of it right here, because that tree there was not in the water a few weeks ago. And look, it's all flooded. So you can see all through here too, where there's snail shell all through here. still crossing through snail shell. And then it ends. See if we can't find a game trail. Otherwise, I'm going to have to head out to the paved trail and walk down and hike back in again. Kind of didn't want to have to do that today. Look, there's a game trail right here. That's how we do it, folks. Move like an Indian. And a dead end. Trail's blocked. And so I could just keep going and going. Eventually this should take me out to the next east-west road. But I don't know if I'm ready to play the zigzag trail game, but I'll do it a little longer just 'cause. I'm seeing more rooting activity. I appear to have reached a jam. I mean, I'm still seeing trail, but it's not been trodden much. Flipping it around here or something, and then it's all overrun. Alright, I'm going to take a minute and hit myself again. That's for ticks. Tick protection. Gotta keep refreshing it, because eventually it all rubs off. Oh crap, what did I get myself into here? Ooh. Oh man. Oh, that hurts. Yeah. Didn't see that one coming. Alright, I see my escape. I'm right on the bike trail. And so they always want to push the therapy. I need to make some noise. It looks like fairly recent boar activity. You see how much glass they turn up? It's not old enough though. Ooh, mosquitoes are getting thick. Look, this is still cold damp. And something sitting right there. Yep. This is where I need to keep making a lot of noise as I'm moving on. Whew. It's getting hard walking. This might be earth, but it's not terra firma. Thought there was an ash pile. If you're joining us, you're part of History Hunter. We're in the woods somewhere off of Lake Beresford. Trail's flooded out, so we're going Indian style and running game trails. See a barcode, whatever that is. It's pretty modern. So trails flooded. We're going Indian style, running the woods, using the game trails, and every so often they run out, so you gotta go crazy cycle weight. But we've been pushing parallel to the lake, looking for the first cutoff road, which I think we're coming up on it right now. Maybe not. What's happening here? It's still game trail. Yeah, it's still game trail. But we're still working in the correct direction. How do I want to do this here? Looks like a hook into the right, and then through there and to the left. And it brings us out by the road. And this is just my good sense of direction too. There's the road right there. is. Okay, there we have it. Well, I want to thank everybody for joining me this day. Getting on the end of October. We're out exploring the woods east of Lake Beresford. It's a few weeks after Hurricane Milton has come through. Most of the park's been flooded, and so not too many people have been down here. That's your Florida History Hunter. If you haven't already, click the like button down below. Subscribe to our channel if you like our content. Have a great day, have a good night, and a better tomorrow.